into his path, would have given him a clearer path to go. But he decided to force the situation, thereby going from the corner to the far right corner, and Sanchez was at the right place to pull up. But even though he had another opportunity on the rebound, he couldn't wrap his foot around it to get the ball to hit the back of the net. But I think it's the same reminiscence of exactly what Flamengo did and Chelsea punished them. But on this occasion, Chelsea were just lucky to have enough men at the right place to be able to thwart the threat.
No, but I think that the final ball that went beyond, if he got away with his right foot, it would have been better than his left. Because he was stretching for it and he was never going to get there, but his right would have been a better choice.
Well, the right foot would have been a better choice. Temporary hold up as Robert Sanchez stays in the goalkeeper's area injured. But Flamengo will be making 2 substitutions. Enrique coming on. And what is Felipe Luis trying to do with this? Is he going more attacking, or he's trying to just test, the other players that he has? And Robert Sanchez gladly is back on his feet. Game will continue. Enrique getting ready to come on. Let's see which players are going to go off.
Yeah, so I think he's bringing on another striker who equally has goals to his name. He has 6 goals in the Brazilian league. Plata did not start the first game, and so now the coach is going to his bench for a change in personnel.
And Darasqueta, he's had a terrible game, and I think it's fair he's been substituted. Yeah. Enrique replaces Darasqueta in the first substitution.
Well, he'll be disappointed because he scored in their opening game. He was looking to continue in that rich vein of form in front of goal. But you can tell he was starved of premium chances in this game. Chelsea never allowed him any decent chances in the attacking third. So it's the right thing for the coach to tweak the formation in terms of the personnel to see if the other guy, Enrique, can come up and then conjure something good for him in the attacking third.
Well, it looks more like they are going with a 4-4-2 now, spreading play with the 2 attackers. Enrique joining Gonzalo Plata up front, a long ball now. Liam Delap, can he steal the ball? And clearly that would have easily landed into the net. From Leo Pereira, he was forced to latch onto the ball. And that was quite dangerous. The goalkeeper had already committed himself. Close save, Flamengo conceded a corner kick.
Well, you look at the goalkeeper of Chelsea, Robert Sanchez. He sent the route 1 ball over the entire pitch into the den for the striker to run onto. Liam Delap timed the run to perfection. The goalkeeper Rossi was caught in a no man's land. He just had to step up, but he was very fortunate that the centre back was there to be able to pull that one off.
And that delivery is picked up by Rossi, and Gerson will pick up that ball, looking for the run, and that could be a counter break for Flamengo. But too many Chelsea players, and they would have to drop deep. Quick pass in there from Pulga. Pulga leaves the ball for Jorginho. Jorginho back to Pulga. Pulga goes into Leo Pereira. Pereira down his left-hand side. Es Araujo. Araujo waiting for that run. And he's invited his man into play. That is Plata, but that was a very poor ball. But I think he should have gone for it. Chelsea had a man up there.
No, I think he looked up the line and realized that, listen, he was a bit offside. Very lazy from the one that delivered that pass. But Flamengo are putting in a lot of industry. They are unable to make incursions. And that has been the theme of this tournament, Kelvin, where for a lot of these teams, they go out there, exert a lot. And then the so-called bigger teams just stay in first gear, maybe neutral, get a result, and move on with it.
Get a result and move on with it. 58 minutes played. Chelsea still in the lead. Robert Sanchez trying to pick up a point. Goes down his left-hand side, and he finds Marco Correa in a very cool position. Feeds off Levi Cole. Cole gets the ball back to Sanchez. And Flamengo will keep the high press on. Sanchez nearly giving the ball away. Moises Caicedo, that's well. And it's been given away with a poor pass. Caicedo has lots of misplaced passes in this game. The high press affecting him from Flamengo. That is a clever touch in there from Araujo trying to win possession. Cole Palmer, that's well, to steal the ball away from him. And Chelsea will build a play inside the center circle. Enzo Fernandez. Express play down the left. He finds Pedro Neto. Neto trying to outwit his back, but full mark scored there by Wesley Franca. He leaves the ball for his captain, Gerson. A twist and a turn. He's been very, very clever. But the final ball in the final third is what they've been lacking.
Well, Gerson has been very clever on the ball. He has been very silk. He has been very, very mobile in his movement around the pitch. He has been the main anchor between defense and attack. And for them to carve Chelsea open, he needs to get more on the ball. But his problem is he likes to play square passes too much in central midfield. He should be focusing on sending in incisive passes into the attacking channels for others to feed on. If not, these passes that he's playing in central midfield will not go any long way to hurt Chelsea in any way.
Free kick against Flamengo. Cole Palmer came second best to that. And that's very, very, very hard tackle from the Brazilians. These South Americans don't know this is an off-season tournament. Too. They came in full flight, full energy. And that was very much robust there from Lucas. It's going to be a free kick. Moises Caicedo calling for the ball, but Shaloba will find his goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, as the best option. Waits his options, goes down the left-hand side, looking for the run of Marco Correa. Can he latch onto it? But Wesley Franca once again scores full marks. He wins possession. Poga finds Jorginho calmly. So weighing his options, the man, Brazilian born, but he played for Italy for the entire career internationally, and he won the European Championships in 2020. Quick ball from Darasqueta is off and looking at Plata. Can this be the equalizer? He does well, but that effort has been parried over the goalpost by Robert Sanchez. Good save by the goalkeeper. Poor finish from Plata.
Poor finish from Plata. You were at the center of the pole. Look here on the frozen screen. Just choose any of the far end. But he decided to put his laces through this straight at the goalkeeper. You just help the cause of the goalkeeper. I think he never had the calmness and the composure. And if you look at him in action, he didn't actually raise his head to look at the full frame of the goalpost.
But in his defense, he was slipping. He was slipping.
Oh, he was slipping what?
He was slipping.
You people, you spare these professional footballers too much. He was slipping what? At the end of the day, won't he take his money? So now you people pamper PSG. Then yesterday, the way PSG spoiled bets. Was it Fiaka? You people have pampered PSG, Fiaka. You have pampered PSG. Last night, they spoiled bets.
Please, I am not among the investors.
And that is the equalizer for Flamengo. Chelsea have given away their lead. Poor defensive work there. And Enrique, who just came on, has found the equalizer. It had to be a header from Plata, and Felipe Luis, man, have found the equalizer. It was coming. Chelsea were just in poor defensive.
It's shocking how Chelsea decided to switch off in the last 5 minutes. And Flamengo kept asking serious questions in the second half. Chelsea saw the warnings on the wall, but they didn't heed to the advice. They kept playing into the hands of Flamengo. In terms of the midfield battle, Chelsea were of no existence. Look there on the pinball. Look on the pin. He wasn't offside.
Well, I don't think he was offside.
Yeah, he wasn't offside as well.
He wasn't offside.
Chelsea had enough men there to deal with the situation, but they were all sleeping on duty. And Enrique, right place at the far post. Look, the cushion ball to the back post was superb, and there was nothing the goalkeeper Sanchez was going to do on that occasion. Right place, right time, poor priority. Now it's game on.
Well, Kosi, where do you see the blame? Where did Chelsea get it wrong with this defense?
I think Chelsea's approach to this game has been very, very lethargic and lackadaisical. Tactically, they have been poor. You look at the number of passes they have completed, and you do realize that this Chelsea team needs to wake up. The coach, Enzo Maresca, has figured that out as well, and he's going to make a few substitutions. Yeah. I mean, you don't play your best player out on the right wing and expect to be on the ball. Moises Caicedo in the middle of the park has misplaced passes. Enzo Fernandez, as a number 10, has been non-existent in this particular game. So the coach is very rightly so tweaking things. Yeah. Nicholas Jackson is coming on for Liam Delap. Reece James as well, who is not a midfielder, has been had the best game in midfield. He's going off for a traditional central defensive midfielder in Romeo Lavia to come on. So Chelsea are looking to at least regain control of this particular game because on paper they are superior, but on the pitch, Flamengo have been flying high.
Well, and if you look at the substitution, for me, the only change is, a more central Delap going off for a more mobile, Jackson. But Lavia for James, it's a like for like. There's still that rigidity in the midfield.
They haven't controlled this game, Kelvin. The second half, Flamengo have seen more of the ball. I think until that changes, Chelsea will not have a foothold over this one.
Until that changes and they've given the ball away. Chaloba, and ball has been picked up by Gessen. He's the best player to create chances. He feeds off Plata with the ball. Can this be the second goal? But he plays it off the body of Marco Correa. It's going to be a corner kick for Flamengo. They are getting better. And Enrique was looking for that pass, but the ball was deflected off a Chelsea body, Marco Correa, for a corner kick. And I'm finished with your submission.
So I just think Gessen should have shot from distance. I think it opened up for him. If he had taken the shot, maybe a rebound or so could have been bundled in.
Well, a rebound would have been better, but like Chelsea have made a substitution. Maybe on our blind side, we may not be seeing what he is trying to do. But let's see, this corner kick comes in once again, and that's another connection. Another set piece. And it's a goal. Chelsea
have been extremely poor in terms of their defensive duties. Right from the blast of the whistle in the second half, you can tell the mood in the stadium basically has changed. And it's all Flamengo in the second half. Look, it's the same reminiscence of the first goal. Pinball to the back post, cushion header back to the far post. And then they recycle the ball at premium range. And you ask yourself, Chelsea have enough players on defensive duties, but they've always been caught off position, caught off guard. They've been sleeping on duty. And this pattern of play has been terrible by Chelsea. And this is not exactly what they did in the first half. You don't concede goals like this in the big games. Look, they had enough bodies. They were all sleeping. They were not doing the simple basic things by putting the players in front of them. And Flamengo duly punished Chelsea.
Well, they've punished Chelsea. Malo Gusto couldn't match the aerial threat of Enrique, who just came on. And that ball went straight to Danilo. Very much experienced. He knew where to pick his spot. And Chelsea are down by 2-1. General.
Yeah, I mean, Flamengo, I mean, absolutely deserve this. Chelsea have not been at their best in this particular game. And like I said, if you play your best player on the right wing, this is what you get. You don't get onto the ball. Enzo Maresca has overthought this particular one, and Flamengo have punished him. And kudos to Felipe Luis. I believe that he's set up this team so well tactically. I mean, their control of the ball, the passage of play, the use of set pieces, controlling possession, closing down, the press has been absolutely amazing. And kudos to them. I believe they have what it takes to go on and win this one.
Well, yes, he's a very good coach. He's better than Mikel Arteta. In less than 2 years, he's won about 4 different trophies. But Arteta, as terrible as he is, he's still staying at Arsenal.
Kelvin, I mean, if you had the likes of Botafogo, Flamengo, the teams we've seen playing in the Club World Cup, playing in the English Premier League, do you think they would compete against the very best?
The dynamics will be different. This is a tournament where you come in with, a certain game plan. But if you are going a full stretch for a 38-team league, and Nicolas Jackson again, what is wrong with this Senegalese? He just came on and, come on.
It's so poor on him. A professional footballer like him should have hit to caution and learn to step away from there. I want to see this in slow mode so that I can be able to judge properly. Because the player on the turf really signal, and he's really, really signaling that he's in some sort of pain. And for referee, I think for him to flash the red card at first glance gives us an idea that he has really seen exactly what happened there. And for Nicolas Jackson, he should have known better. You don't lunge into such tackles recklessly like the way he did. And look, he has himself to blame. And look at the reaction of the referee.
He knew what happened. And until we see a review, maybe we may not, understand. But let's see what happened. Clearly, it was a malicious challenge. He went in with the idea to hurt the player. Very nasty.
And that's a career-threatening tackle on the ankle of somebody. You don't do that. And he will be kicking himself like, what have I done? And basically, this is the end of his Club World Cup journey.
That is very silly from him. Very, very silly. And it's cost his team. This is not the first time. He committed a very silly mistake in the Premier League, in the final days of the Premier League. And he was sent off. And
he missed, in fact, he's going to miss the first game of the Premier League.
Yes.
As a result of that suspension. So very irresponsible from Nicholas Jackson. I mean, a Senegalese called Jackson. What do you expect? Just backsliding all the way through. Absolutely terrible from Nicholas Jackson for this Chelsea team. I mean, come on. Irresponsible. Very irresponsible.
Kelvin is surprising. He's not been on the field for more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Well, if we look at Jackson, is it a permutation of frustration? You are used to starting games. Now there is a delay. You've been relegated to the bench. Is it finding it difficult to deal with that psychological part of the game? Because if you look at the best players, sometimes you've got to deal with this. You look at Didier Drogba. He said there was a time that he has seen all the frustrations around him. People really wanted him out of the team, but he kept quiet. The only thing he could do at that particular point in time was to show what he can do on the pitch. That was how come he got his position back. This is preseason. And for Jackson to start showing these things, it might be a combination of he not being able to deal with the fact that I've been the main marksman, and for now, I've been relegated to the bench.
Well, 20 more minutes for Chelsea to get back into the game. If they want to win this, or at least get a draw. But in the other game, it's Vangelis Pavlidis, who scored the second goal. Benfica lead Auckland City FC by 2-0. A quick cutback ball drops to Cole Palmer, trying to turn inside the penalty area. He's been forced out, and he finds Marco Correa. Lays the ball for Romeo Lavia. Lavia twisting the turn. Correa offers him support down the left-hand side. A delivery inside the penalty area, but Leo Pereira will head it out. And Chelsea would have to contend with the man who is down inside Flamengo's penalty area. It's not getting easy for them. But for me, if you talk about frustration for what, Jackson did, I don't think that was frustration.
Irresponsibility.
Come on, why are you sugarcoating the words? He was stupid.
Extremely.
Yeah, he was stupid. You don't go into a tackle like that.
Well, and now the game is basically sliding out of their hands. You are a goal down. You've got to step up, try to claw back that odd goal deficit, and try to go on to win. And if you look at the mood in the stadium, with the entire atmosphere changed in the last 20 minutes, now Flamengo have basically managed to get their fans bouncing, and they are right there behind them. It's now an awkward game for Chelsea to try to navigate. They've got to bring their A game on board and try to do the unthinkable to be able to break down this Flamengo team with an extra man.
Well, they only have 18 minutes to do that, and probably additional minutes from the referee. Levi Colwell with the ball in Chelsea's midfield.
Calvin, the investors will be bleeding at this particular point in time.
You see, I told my people that this Club World Cup, be ready for surprises. It's not clear-cut, And yesterday, people decided to bet for PSG. Right? Just saw what Botafogo did. These South Americans are already playing their league, so they are in better shape than most of the European, clubs. And the players are in off-season mode. You won't have the same energy, the same, orientation, the same vibe for, the Club World Cup. Unlike, these Brazilians who are already in about 17 weeks, 13 weeks, 14 weeks of their Premier League. So I just understand. The only team that looks extremely, extremely ready for this tournament in Europe that I have seen is FC Bayern Munich. But even that one was against Auckland City. So wait to see their second game to see if they are going to match the same tempo which they gave. But game continues in here. 48 seconds in the 73rd minute. Moises Caicedo makes that to Estelle, calling for Levi Colwell to make a very good drift. Romeo Lavia lifts up that ball, and Chelsea would have to contend with it in midfield. Flamengo trying to win possession, and that's going to be a yellow card. The referee is easily dishing out card. And Gerson, the captain of the team.
He's not scared to
not at all.
The cards.
Clearly, he went in with a stamp, yes.
He's getting feisty, he's getting more physical. And the players are having a proper go at each other. But one thing that he can use to get the game under control is to use his cards. So he's just doing the simple, basic things that the referee should do. cooling break here again in the second half. As to how this game gradually is slipping out of the hands of Chelsea, it's shocking because they were very comfortable. How they finished the first half, they looked like they will only go on to get that second positive goal to cushion the game for themselves. But absolute moment of madness from the Senegalese has basically made the game extremely awkward for them again. Trailing by 2-1, down by a man, you have to try to do something unthinkable in the heat of Orlando to be able to get the game back on point. And if you look at Chelsea, their best players in Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto, and Cole Palmer are basically not getting onto the ball. They are not taking the game by the scruff of the neck. They are not dictating the tempo of the game. For them to create something, these players need to get on the ball more and try to link up with better combinations on top of the pitch. You look at what they are doing. They switch back into a 4-4-2 formation. And now with a man down, basically, they'll go to a 4-4-1 with variations. And it will not work because if you look at what the Brazilians are doing, they are playing with a flat back four. And you need to get enough players on top of the pitch to be able to break them down. And Chelsea does not have enough men on top of the pitch to do that. It's a huge game for them to contend with now.
Well, it's a high hill for them to climb. But many are complaining about the positioning of Cole Palmer. If you look at Flamengo, their team, the most creative player for them was supposed to be Dada Sketa. He failed to glitter in a central position. But the man who's been pulling the strings for them is the 28-year-old captain, Gerson. And he's playing in a similar position as Cole Palmer. And I think if Cole Palmer wants to really impose himself on this game, he should be able to do it.
And I think it's gotten even harder for him because now they are man-light. And Gerson is a different type of player compared to Cole Palmer. I think he has more pace and he dribbles a lot more. But you know what, Kelvin? Bruno Henrique came on and made the impact that Felipe Luis wanted. He got him a goal and an assist in the process. So we should not take anything from the performance of Flamengo because from start to finish, I think after Chelsea got the goal, they sort of defended deep and gave possession to Flamengo. And up till now, haven't dictated the game at all.
Form is temporal, class is permanent at delivering inside the penalty. And ball drops to Gerson. Can that be a goal? But too close to Robert Sanchez, and he picked it up with ease. Chelsea giving the ball away so easily, almost every time.
Calvin, I can't believe that a player like Kowo will mop like the way he did. You don't clear balls out of the zone like that. Basically, putting the ball on a silver plate for the Flamengo player to finish off. He was just lucky that the ball went straight at goalkeeper Sanchez on that particular occasion. And I know the coach, Maresca, will be living with that particular pattern of play. You see on the frozen screen, you've got to be decent. The coach is frustrated. It's clear this wasn't the game plan. The players have just decided to take this game casual. And they are paying the price for it. The ramifications is what we are seeing in front of us.
Chelsea fans expect the same kind of things this season, okay? Game continues. 77 minutes down. Flamengo 2, Chelsea 1. Jorginho. Close by Leo Pereira. He's had a very good game. Lays the ball for Jorginho, who's, and I think, I always say it, the most important players in every team are the switches. Look at what Jorginho is offering for Flamengo. Look at what Rodri does for Manchester City. And I always say, if you have set players in your team, where there's experience, he's single-handedly just taking control of the second half. When Chelsea have as many as 3 robust players who are box-to-box or who are able to cover lots of ground. Maybe Chelsea should be thinking about that. Take one of the central defensive midfielders off and bring on a more mobile player.
Well, if you look at Jorginho, basically, he's the master of the midfield. That's why Sarri likes him a lot. That's why he plays a very huge role to Sarri's team formation. One thing that Jorginho does is he always disguises himself from the main brouhaha in midfield or from the main mayhem. He's always a step backwards. So he creates that inch of space for himself to step onto the ball. And in terms of his scanning abilities off his shoulders, he's very good at that. So before the ball gets to him, before he steps onto the ball, he has already taken a decision. He knows where to put the ball. That's how come he's so good at that. But for you to stifle him and make him redundant, you've got to get another person so close to him so that he doesn't step on the ball and think ahead of you.
Game continues. 11 more minutes to be played. Ball down the right-hand side, Malo Gusto. Gusto leaves the ball for Enzo Fernandez, trying to pull his way through, but he's been brought down. Referee whistles for foul there against Flamengo.
Chelsea looked better with 10 men than they did with 11 men. And that's a bit of a curious case.
Nicholas Jackson is always number -1. So you get to understand that he doesn't form part of Chelsea's plans. Nana Kwame Labi angry at Nicholas Jackson, but Wesley Franca is down on the turf. He's injured, and it looks like Felipe Luis would have to alter his team with another substitution. This time, a forced one.
Well, he has to, because basically he has given everything out there on the pitch. And you can tell that the heat of the moment has gotten to him. I think it's something to do with his hamstring, and they don't want to risk it that much, so they have to pull off the substitution. But as to how this game, within 10 minutes, slipped out of the hands of Chelsea, they seem to be in the driving seat. They seem to be content with whatever Flamengo was throwing at them. Football can be a very brutal game at a particular point in time. Just a simple lack of concentration from Chelsea on 2 set pieces cost them 2 goals. Fast forward, their striker who stepped onto the pitch just after 5 minutes with a moment of madness. Then everything has turned the other way around. This is the reality of football.
Elvin, before you come in, I think it could be a case of complacency from the part of PSG and Chelsea. I think they had relatively easier games in their very first game. And so from that point on, it set in, and then they took it into the next game being a bit more complacent.
Being complacent, and Varela is getting ready to come on. But the referee will only allow that after this free kick. Palmer with the delivery inside the penalty area. Enzo with a header, but it gets onto the roof of the goalpost. And that set piece has been wasted. Substitution can be made now for Flamengo.
Well, Palmer is a typical trademark left-footed captured ball into the ball. The pinball, the ball was perfectly hanging in there for Enzo Fernandez to come and attack. But I think he didn't get the proper glance on the ball. He has to use that frame of his head, the forehead. But if you look at the frozen slow motion, he actually used the top of his head to have the connection to the ball. That was how come he didn't get the accuracy right. But the pinball was very, very good into the penalty box.
Well, and Gerson seems to have picked up a knock, and he's going to go off. Wesley Franca is already off. And did I see Yao? Okay, it's in. Wallace Yan and Varela. Varela will be at right back in place of Wesley Franca, and Wallace Yan would be up front. Looks more like he's going to play in Gerson's position.
Well, he's stepping into that shoes, knows exactly what he's supposed to bring on board. And we've seen Chelsea doing another effective double substitution. Palmer and Enzo Fernandez stepping out for Gui and then Madueke. With Madueke, you know, sometimes he frustrates you with the ball at his feet. His decision making, sometimes it's not spot on. He over-elaborates on the ball. He hugged the penalty box. He will come back and hug the touchline. With strikers lurking on top of the box, waiting for deliveries to be served to them. So let's see what Madueke will do. But for Chelsea now, let's see what they have in the last 8 minutes with extra added times.
Well, because, substitutions, Chelsea have added new players to the team for the final 10 minutes to be played. What could happen? But before you come into the fray, an opportunity for... And that's the final finish there from that counter break. It wasn't as smooth as we expected. And the substitute, Wallace Yan, who just came on to replace Gerson, has found the net for the 3rd time for Flamengo. And you can see Felipe Luis, he celebrates a dominant game from his side. Chelsea are down by 3-1, and Enzo Maresca gets onto the bench to take a look at that. You can look at the progression, and when it was smooth, it was calm. They knew what they were doing, precise, and Chelsea have shot themselves in the foot.
Absolutely terrible performance from this Chelsea team. Not aided at all by that moment of madness from Nicholas Jackson. But I mean, all credit to Flamengo. They've been flying high. I mean, ever since the first half, they've threatened. Chelsea fell asleep. Terrible defending. They literally walked through the defense like they walked through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. And they slid that ball back into the net. And Chelsea definitely would have to get back onto the drawing board Flamengo have taken them to the cleaners. Absolutely. Enzo Maresca has overthought this and has exploded in the faces of these Chelsea players.
Calvin, you'll be shocked that the two substitutes that you just announced their name were the two players that combined on top of the pitch to finish off this game. Yeah. And from here, there is no way back for Chelsea. They can't even construct 3-4 decent passes into the attacking channels. And for Flamengo, the very moment they took they scored the second goal, Chelsea never looked like they were coming back into the game. Coupled with that moment of madness from Nicolas Jackson. Now, Chelsea got to manage this game to protect a decent defeat. If not, they can play, and then the damage might be extended to 4 or 5 goals in this game.
Well, it was very clear. Chelsea did not look too convincing in the opener. And Levi Colwell, after the game, made mention of them not satisfied with the result. Moises Caicedo seemed to have hit Jorginho there, but the game continues. He wins possession for Chelsea. It looks like he's going to go for that drive. It's been brought down. It's going to be a yellow card. The referee dishes out cards easily. But clearly, that was a very bad tackle coming in from Eric Polgar. And he had to take one for the team. 6 more minutes to end the game. He can, afford to get that yellow card.
But, these Brazilian teams in this competition have been impressive. We watched Palmeiras. Yesterday, Botafogo, tactically disciplined. Now Flamengo. It shows you that they came prepared. And you mentioned the fact that they are not in an off-season. They are still playing in their regular season, so they are in better shape. But, Kelvin, I don't know. Do you believe a Brazilian team can go all the way to win the competition?
Well, I think they are good. When it comes to these competitions, you cannot downplay, their quality. And this is off-season for the European clubs and some other continents. But Brazil is still playing their league. So, they have that sort of fighting spirit, and they are in the mood to play more games and compete. This is more like a preseason for, all the other European clubs. And the reason why you see players not giving their 100% best. Free kick for Chelsea. And Jorginho tells Jan, just leave him. Allow him to be there. 4 more minutes to end the game. Flamengo 3, Chelsea 1, Noni Madrid. Charlie, this player, he's just a wannabe.
Player where your name be Chukunonso.
Calvin, I want to tell you something. This is a player that has been linked to your Arsenal.
Onye bimbo.
Noni Madioki.
Onye bimbo nanejai.
That summarizes up.
That
sums up how poor Arsenal and
I said we Martinelli Ninimbo was in. We
for us to say the European clubs are in off-season, I beg to differ. Most of the European clubs just stopped playing three weekends ago.
3 weekends,
3 weeks ago, sorry.
3 weeks ago
but
is
they've been
enough.
into season for this tournament.
No. Some of them went into holiday. They just assembled the players.
The question I can ask you, if we are to pick a clip from this game, the South American teams are telling us that they are in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
They are switched on, and they are ready to play against the big
And
boys.
that's exactly what I'm saying. The European clubs and the players think they are in off-season mode. So they won't give out that energy you will see
But
in a regular
this tournament
season.
that is ready to give you as much. Because the winners of this competition, look at the prize money.
Yes, the prize money, but do you think this is more valuable to Chelsea than the Premier League next season?
Well, in terms of prestige and branding, they will look at the Premier League.
Exactly. So if I'm a player like Marco Correa, who's played over 2 seasons consistently for Spain and Chelsea, I would want to rest for the new season. I want to engage in these kind of games, and especially with the expanded mode. The players have already been complaining about the tight schedule and the number of games they play throughout a football season. So why do you add this up to them? So I still understand them. If this was mid-season, you just understand how players will put into the game that energy. But 2 more minutes, barring any additional minutes, Chelsea will lose this game. This is the FIFA Club World Cup live on Sport FM 106.1 across our affiliates in Kumasi and Takrady. Also streaming live on X at SportyFM_. You can find lots of news on our Instagram page at SportyFM_, and also on Facebook and on YouTube. Our page is SportyFM. You can have that opportunity to look at the brilliant content. Also on Spotify, just go. We have lots of podcasts for you. For Sulabi's recent podcast about Ebusia Dwarfs. After 19 years of absence, in Ghana's top flight. They are back into the Ghana Premier League. He tells their story. It's a 43-minute package that was released this morning. Just get there, take a listen, give us your reviews. Well, I'm sorry, it's Swedro All Blacks. Hey, why am I giving prominence to another team? Swedro All Blacks, Yafo Sulabi getting us there. So you have lots of podcasts. Yes, the story by Ayamga. Yes, Emmanuel Andam has that story of the commentators. Lots of stories for you to pick up there and listen. And Cole Palmer has ended his game. And another free kick in a very good position for Chelsea. This time around, it looks like they've sacked Madueke from the free kick. Well, we are coming to you live from the MES Boa, the Accra International Conference Centre. We are here till Sunday. Just be sure you come here and Chelsea can have that opportunity to find at least a second goal to reduce the deficit. But Rossi was right there to make that block.
Well, it's all about the mood and how quick you have to react to
Yeah.
the action around you. You could tell the drop ball went to him, but the goalkeeper was at the right place at the right time. He made himself big, and then just to have to parry the ball over the byline for a welcome corner kick to Chelsea.
Nicholas Jackson, 4 minutes, 1 red card. Auto player on there. 7 more minutes to be played at a time from the referee. And too close to Rossi. He picks it up just in the goalkeeper's area. But there is also an update from the game between Benfica and Auckland City. I don't know what Auckland City came to do. 15 goals conceded in just 2 games. They are down by 5-0 to Benfica. And Angel Di Maria with a penalty. Vangelis Pavlidis with a 54th minute finish. Renato Sanchez scored in the 63rd minute. And 2 goals from Leandro Barrero in the 76th and 79th minutes. Getting Benfica another win. 5-0, and Auckland have conceded 15 times in 2 games.
They are semi-professional footballers. A lot of them had to take leave from work. I mean, imagine the security woman Kawawa and FC
Please. The security woman, Mark Gloria, has been consistent and she's better than some of our wages. She predicted a 5-0 correct score in the Champions League final. So please leave her out.
So imagine all of you having to
those who cannot play. Immortal is number 1. He cannot play if you put him in. Yes. Efsen is number 2. He cannot play. Yes, because if Yaka cannot play, number 3.
I'm a tactical messiah. I'm the coach.
Okay. Yes, Efsen will not play. Moses cannot play. He's just a fanboy. He cannot play the football. The only player I can trust to deliver is Yafo Sulabi. Proper striker, proper center forward. He's the only one who can save us. That is him. And them too, he cannot play. Moff, he cannot play. Maybe we'll put Sergio Manucho. It's okay. Let me continue before I commit blasphemy. I can't hit Sergio like that. Noni Madueke runs into the penalty area. He goes past 1 or 2 players. He drops himself inside the penalty area, but the referee Barton not interested in that fall. A quick ball in there from Jan, but the ball had gone over the touchline. Is going to be a throw-in. The referee needs to keep Tempest down. Throwing quickly effected, and he has to be taken again by Malo Gusto, as the referee will tell him to take his time. Tempest rising in the final minutes of the game. That was clever from him, but
Dodi Madueke is just not serious. You dazzle through this forest of legs, enter the den, then at the end of the day, you just decide to throw yourself onto the den, waiting for the referee to call a foul for you, a penalty for you, in the full glare of VAR.
Dale. Well, this player is not serious. Game continues. Trevor Chaloba finds Levi Colwell. Robert Sanchez, that's a poor pass, but he manages to find Moises Caicedo, who's taking over the captain's armband, with Enzo Fernandez of Romeo Lavia inside the center circle, advancing just over the halfway line. And Bruno Henrique has been voted as the supreme player of the match. He's the man of the match, and it was voted. There are times you need to, but he came on, superior player of the match. He's come on to play, to score, you know.
Substitute player. Nicola Jackson had the same opportunity, but he decided to go and take an early shower.
It was around the same time. Hey! Charlie, he went in to butcher his man. And clearly the referee is going to spare him. I think he's already on a yellow card. And that is Enrique. That was a wild swing of his foot there. But referee allows play to continue. A quick ball down the right-hand side. It's picked up by Noni Madueke. Madueke waiting for support. Noni Madueke. And he's been prevented from advancing into the penalty area.
Kevin, this is typical Noni Madueke. He's not serious. Can't he just change his style of play?
Wow.
Unproductive football.
Malo Gusto with the delivery inside the penalty area, but the block there is going to be a corner kick. Lucas with the block. General, do you have any words for Madueke? Madueke inside the penalty area. Pedro Neto, he goes in with a wild effort, but it comes off. Enric. And Enric will win possession. And he quickly sends the ball out. And Moises Caicedo was right there to make that interception. Before Plata latched onto any of that, Robert Sanchez trying to outwit his man. He does well. And the clearance comes in. These Brazilians didn't come to play. They did not come to play. Fiaga, Madueke.
For a player who is called Chuku Nonso. I mean, what do you expect?
Because it's his name, or it's his name, because he...
Chuku Nonso.
Yes, it's his name. But what do you mean by Chuku Nonso? And that's his name.
Chuku.
General Fiaka on the beat. 2 more minutes to end this game. And Chelsea are down 3-1 against Flamengo. Felipe Luis getting the best of Enzo Maresca. Marco Correa getting the ball. He feeds off Pedro Neto. Neto changes direction of play to the right-hand side. He touches the ball on his chest, but he goes away from him. And Jan together with Jorginho will quickly send the ball out of their defensive end. What is he trying to do? And Malo Gusto steps in to make that interception. Felipe Luis very angry at Jan. He wants a lot more, even with a 3-1 lead, and still a minute more to play.
Well, it just have to be game management for Flamengo at this particular point in time. You are leading by 2 goals buffer. You just don't need to rush anything with 1 minute to go. Probably playing into the hands of Chelsea or going into tackles to go and get unnecessary yellow cards that you will carry into other games that will come and affect you later in the tournament.
Flamengo with 6 points as it stands. After 2 games, Chelsea with 3 points. And then LAFC and Esperance Sportive de Tunis with 0 points, sitting 3rd and 4th respectively. 60. And it looks more like the 7 minutes of added time would not serve Chelsea any good. And they would have to go back to the drawing board and re-strategize for that final game against Esperance in the group. Chelsea still looking forward to getting the final lap from this game. And referee whistles for a free kick in favor of Moises Caicedo, quickly taken there by Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah with the ball to Malo Gusto. Gusto down the right-hand side. He tries to outweigh this man. It goes into Nuno Madueke. Madueke close by. And that will be the final whistle. A referee from Salvador, Ivan Barton, has whistled for the end of the game. And Felipe Luis will continue his dominance in games over his opponents. This time around, moving away from an African opponent to an European opponent. And he has managed to defeat Chelsea 3-1 to go top of the table with 3 points. It's been an exciting day, very exciting football action with a game that saw lots of brilliance. Bruno Henrique with the opener in the 62nd minute. 3 minutes later, Danilo scored in the 65th minute before Jan, who came on in the 83rd minute, got the final goal to give Flamengo the 3-1 victory over Chelsea. Quick thoughts from my gentleman, and Anakwame would have a quick interaction with the fans who are here. Blackshire, starting from you. Chelsea have lost 3-1.
Well, Enzo Maresca and his entire team has to look at themselves in the mirror and look back on this game and say we did something bad. We didn't manage this game. They were poor, especially in the second half. In the first 25-30 minutes of the second half, Chelsea were all over the place. They came second to everything, second best to everything that Flamengo did. Flamengo came out of the blocks took the game to Chelsea, played in their faces, pushed them to the wall, and allowed them to crack under pressure. They played to the rhythm of the gallery. They played to the strength of the fans and got the fans on their part. Right from where they pulled parity, Chelsea never reacted positively. They went on to get their second goal, and then from there, Chelsea went a man down through the madness of Jackson. Then they had to get that out positive third goal to be able to take the game far away from Chelsea. From there was only one winner. And for Enzo Maresca, all the substitutions that he effected never had any positive effect on this game. They will have to go back and look at themselves and ask themselves, do we really want to play and qualify from this group and go into the latter embers of the competition? Or we just have to throw everything away and then go on vacation, come back to preseason, and come back to play in next season's Major League. But for today, Chelsea have been extremely poor in terms of their game management. And congratulations to Flamengo. They brought their A game on board, played some fantastic combinations on top of the pitch, and managed to win this game by merit.
Well, and quick thoughts, and then we would have interaction with a couple of fans before we call it a wrap here.
I think we are now seeing why the Brazilian teams have pulled up. This is the second upset in the competition. I think yesterday Botafogo did it against PSG, and now Flamengo has done it against Chelsea. I think they are the team that, like you rightly said, they've been playing regular football for some time now, coming into the Club World Cup. And so, in terms of fitness level, I think they are edging it, against these other teams, and it's going in their favor. And so, credit to Flamengo and Felipe Luis. I think, though they conceded quite early in the game, credit to Pedro Neto for that one. They stuck in there, they pressed, got the equalizer, and then eventually went on to get 2 more goals to make this a resounding victory. I think that Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson, I think they need to talk to him or to advise him to an extent, because Kelvin, the last game of the Premier League season was not too far ago. I think it was a month ago where he got a red card against Newcastle.
It wasn't actually the last game. He missed the last 3 games as a result of that, and he's going to miss the first game of next season as well.
I think they need to have a bit of like a conversation with him, so he needs to play a bit more gently or to an extent, less aggressively.
Well, Fiaka finish up, and then Nana Kwame Labi will take over with the interaction of a couple of fans.
Actually, I mean, Flamengo flew high. They went out there and completely decimated this very poor Chelsea team. Enzo Maresca will be looking at some of his decisions, and he will be wondering how Chelsea got here. They got here because he made terrible tactical decisions. The players were not as committed as they were supposed to be, but Flamengo showed that they would flap all the way to a victory against a hapless Chelsea. They are comfortable now with 1 foot in the next round, but Chelsea have it all to do. They'll hope that it doesn't go south against their North African opponents that they come against next.
Well, that is it then. Chelsea have failed to glitter once again. In the opening game, they were not too convincing, but they managed to get a 2-0 victory. And Flamengo continued their dominance. They defeated Esperance by 2-0, and they've managed to get another victory. This time around over Chelsea with a 3-1 win. And they go top of the group with 6 points. Well, in the other game that is being played, Angel Di Maria named superior player of the match as Benfica are leading Auckland City 5-0. Auckland City were beaten 10-0 by Bayern Munich in the opening game, and they've gone on to concede 15 goals in 2 games, something not very much impressive, but certainly for Benfica, they would be, happy with the result. Well, it's been a very good day here, good evening here with the watch party at the MES Expo at the International Conference Centre here. It's throughout till Sunday. Come in, let's have a good time. Just network and make sure you meet lots of people, sports, culture, arts, everything. Just come here and you can find anything that you want, things that you wouldn't have imagined to witness. You can come here and you can find everything here. Very good atmosphere, very good people, very good food, every single thing. And as usual, Sporty FM associating with the very best, bringing this to you live. It's the FIFA Club World Cup coverage on Sporty FM, and it's powered by Electroland Ghana. Prizes are dropping, all because of the appreciation of the city and the fall of the dollar. Just get in there and have some appliances for yourself. There's a promo ongoing where you can get irons, microwaves, gas cookers, everything you can get in there and serve yourself some good. Thanks to Kosi Viaka, thanks to Emmanuel Landam, and thanks to Blackched, who is always here with us, getting us very powerful productions. Immortal Ejakwe Champon, Evans Amewuga, as well as Sergio Manucho, making sure that production was right with, yes, DJ Yayo, as well as the rest of the technical team. Let's cross over to the studio as we continue to wrap it all up here. You can still come. We are here at the MES Expo. My name is Calvin Oswanta. Have a good evening.